Go ahead. Yes, thank you, Alicia. Yes.
Yes, so since yesterday's session on breathing, first I could identify what my coping strategy was. I'm definitely a fighter. And I remember the start of yesterday, I said the reason that I'm joining the seminar is for me to overcome my anxiety, which I believe God was taking me through a process of going through my fighting phase. So I was dealing with a really challenging situation at work, and I didn't understand why I would get all this built up aggression whenever I felt like I was being violated. So I wanted to just march into the office or march to tell the person exactly how I felt. And the more that I was trying to find a way of suppressing that emotion, I now realize what you're saying about finding healthier ways to stay calm. And I didn't realize until yesterday how much I was not breathing. I would be there'll be like seconds and I'm just holding my breath for no reason because that aggression is just built up inside of me. So I'm gonna make it my mission during this holiday that's coming up to take time to breathe and go through that process of getting that aggression out. As I mentioned yesterday, I enjoy going to the beach. That's where I love to go and pray. So I'm looking forward to what I learned today.
Oh, I'm so, it's always wonderful that you can take so much from for a session and be able to incorporate it into. So like I said yesterday, and I'm no longer, I made the video small, so I don't see myself and I can't see anyone right now because I can't see the slides. That, you know, the whole goal of this is, of course, is to be able to take this into your world. And it's very powerful that you were able to glean so much from. So yesterday we were in the stress-free zone. Today we're entering into the positive zone. So we're going to leave all the negative thoughts outside and we're going to keep building on what we learned from yesterday. And again, this will be recorded. So anyone who's missing this for whatever reason, they will be able to catch up to the recording as well. So we're going to do a short quiz so actually, Angela, everybody introduced themselves yesterday. So actually, let's have you also introduce yourself. That would be lovely, so that you can kind of, we have you joining the group, please.
Okay, I am Angela Daniel, Reverend Angela Daniel. I am member of the Sweets Wesleyan Holiness Church. I am the director for the Women's Antigua District and also for the Central area, which comprises of the Virgin Islands, St. Kitts and Nevis, Anguilla, Montserrat. And I love the Lord with a passion. I love working with ladies. I am a family woman. I'm married. My husband is also a pastor of the same church. I have 4 children and 1 grand. I'm just a grandma, just a month grandma. And I'm very excited. I'm also a teacher at the Wesleyan Junior Academy. I teach kindergarten. And as I said, I love the Lord with a passion.
Well,
I love working.
And what brings you to the session? What draws you to us today?
Well, my girlfriend told me about it and I was very interested in it. So I told her, yes, I would like to be a part of it and see how it turned out, because I know that we can always be there to help others. And so,
thank you, Reverend Angela. So Reverend, we would really love if you could lead us with a prayer now that we have you here. Please.
Okay, no problem. All right, let us pray. Father, we give you thanks for your faithfulness. We give you thanks for your love. We give you thanks for being here this afternoon, Lord. And as we look at this topic, Father, we are asking you, Lord, that you will help us to listen. Sometimes, God, we get so carried away in talking, that we don't really listen to grasp what it is saying. But help us this afternoon, God, to listen and apply to ourselves and see how we can help ourselves first of all, and to help others. Father, I'm asking you, God, that you'll continue to bless each person that is here, especially the presenter. Bless her, Father, as we place this session into your hands. In your name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you
Amen.
so much. Is the sounds outside disruptive? Do you hear a sound outside? Anyone?
No, I'm not. I am
Okay,
not
good.
hearing.
Okay, good, good. I'm just making sure because I'm just having something done in my yard. So I'm just making sure. So we're going to start this evening. So if everyone can mute, just so we're in good standing. And I'm going to start with a poll that is catching up from yesterday. So Reverend, you will join us, of course, but you know, some things might be. So no, it's not supposed, it's supposed to be where, oh, I did it the last time. I did it in a way that I could hide it. Okay, so as I cannot hide it, we're gonna reserve this to tomorrow. That's what we will do. So I'm just gonna close it off then. And because I need to do some other little technique that I need to learn that I did the last time. Okay, so let's do a quick recap, and Reverend, you should be able to catch up. I hope you will be able to. So yesterday we were claiming our positive place within. We were looking at stress responses and how they function. We were learning 3 particular techniques, grounding techniques: belly breathing, grounding, and calm focusing, as well as and calm focusing, including our safe place, and supporting the stress with calm as the final exercise. Using this strength and belly breathing, grounding, and calm focusing to be able to support our stressors. And so the techniques, the self-regulation techniques that we went through, the belly breathing, the grounding, and the calm focusing, is when we breathe through using our torso to breathe, our belly to breathe, rather than our chest. So instead of our shoulders and our chest rising for the inhale, instead we breathe in and out of our belly. So our belly expands like a balloon for the inhale and deflates for the exhale. And so you keep your body still. We'll be going through an exercise with this, and Reverend, I think we'll be able to, catch you up. So belly breathing is for to trigger the relaxation response, and to soften that, the fight, flight, and freeze, which is our stressor response, our stress response. Secondly, we ground to help get out of the head. So it's important that we understand that we're not only breathing, we're doing several steps at the same time. You're belly breathing, you're also grounding. It gets you out of your head and concentrate on the ground. So when you breathe, we help to relax that fight or response as one of the stress responses. When we ground, we help to soften the escapism, the running impulse, that which is the flight. And when we concentrate on the calm feelings and you focus on the calm feelings and the image of your calm feelings, that also helps you to break out of the hider or the freeze mode, because that's when you want to be numb and not feel. And this way you can tap into your own calm, positive responses that help you to break through those 3 different stress responses. So that's why we work with the 3 of them together. Now, in your day-to-day life, moving around, just your belly breathing, absolutely. But you can do all 3. You can remember to breathe. You can remember at the same time to feel yourself grounded, and you can focus on your calm feelings. We can do that anywhere, anytime with practice, and that helps to, again, alleviate all 3 of the stress responses. And the combination addresses all 3, that helps us to cope and manage our stressors and to soften or reduce that stress response. And so we use that stress response as the final exercise, using our breathing, the grounding, and calm focusing to help address and regulate the stressor. And we focused yesterday on the stressor of a professional stress. And so that's when I said, instead of fighting, you're breathing so that we can be at peace with the breathing. Instead of escaping, you are grounding. Instead of shutting off your feelings through the freeze, you're focused on the calm feelings. It helps you move through those different challenges. And the key point was using these techniques as a lifestyle. And I always encourage this because, which is how I ended yesterday, and I want to reinforce this, is because oftentimes people think it takes so much time. And if we start to practice these very simple, you can belly breathe, because breathing is what we do all day long, as I said before. If we just incorporate belly breathing into our lifestyle, into how we breathe when we're sitting and when we're walking and throughout our day, we remember to breathe in using our belly, the belly breath, then we're going to be able to create calm in the moment in our day-to-day life. We can always bring our attention, ground into our body, into our feet to calm ourselves down. And we can always just focus on the calm feeling as we belly breathe, ground, and get to calm focus. And when we're stressed, and when we have those stressor impulses to fight, flight, and freeze, our impulses will be to do the exact opposite. With Alicia, is what you were describing, how you have these impulses to move. It's like you want to keep going up because you want to defend yourself. And this is the opposite. This is when you go to peace. This is when you go to calm. This is when you go to connecting to your inside yourself, rather than fighting or struggling or escaping or shutting down and withdrawing. So this can be done anywhere. And like I said, if you want to increase your time, if you want to add 5 minutes, 10 minutes to your day, you can use it in prayer, you can use it in however you want to apply it in your life, you can do that as well. So the main thing is not to limit it in your mind that it has to take all this time to do. If something is, if we're really, really in a struggling state or stress state, we may need to really give ourselves more time. But even in the moment, we can utilize that in our moment day to day, just to even get to help manage our stressors more easily and our challenges. We had our positive place, and we all found a positive place that represented a place that for us that we could find calm, using our adding on to these steps with the imagination, so that we could find a safe place inside of us, because our imagination does not know the difference between what is real. Rather, our mind does not know the difference between what is real or what is imagined. So if we imagine eating a delicious mango, we're going to salivate as if we were actually eating it. So that's really important, because this is a powerful tool that we can utilize to get to enhance our calm, because again, imagination is what we're using all the time, all day long. So if we're stuck in a stress response, and Alicia, sorry to point you out, but you gave us the example at the beginning that you have the, when you're getting into the fighter mode. And so in your imagination, your image would be fighting and struggling. It would be more of a warfare kind of metaphor. That's where your mind will be at. And if you shift into another kind of image, it will change where you feel yourself to be. And when we did the exercise yesterday and I focused on this, everyone could feel as if they were actually in that space. So you don't literally have to be in those places. So basically, you don't have to escape to something outside of yourself. You can find that within yourself using these different tools. Because normally we think, I to feel better, I have to go somewhere. I have to go to the beach. I have to go to the park. I have to go somewhere. And what we're saying here is these capacities, these resources lie inside of you. When we go to fight, flight, and freeze in those stress responses, we go outside of ourselves, where we're fighting around, or we're fighting or escaping or withdrawing within ourselves. So we want to intensify and strengthen what I call those emotional and mental muscles. So I want to start today again by recapping, and for us to bring back your image of your positive feeling, what your positive feeling is from yesterday, connected to that image of your positive place. and the feelings attack, calm, peace, whatever your feelings were. We also looked at a professional stressor and the emotions connected to that stressor. And so we saw some uplifting emotions that would connect you to that calmer, more positive place. And then we also saw the other emotions that are more stressful emotions. And we looked at some of what those felt like. And then we ended by supporting our stress with grounding, breathing, belly breathing, grounding, and calm focusing. So I want us to, we're going to start today with this exercise. We've already had a lovely prayer to begin. And so we're going to add on to that, of course, with this. Then we're going to go into some more of the theory and end the session with another exercise, a calming exercise. But it's really great for us to start our session in that nice positive place. So Reverend, just to catch you up, one of the things we learned yesterday was deep belly breathing as a breathing technique rather than shallow breathing, which is when you breathe through your chest and your shoulders, and which is actually dysfunctional and improper breathing when we breathe up. So our chest is rising and our shoulders are rising. Instead, we want to breathe down into our torso using our belly to breathe. So I'm going to take, those are one of the things we learned yesterday, alongside some of the other techniques. And again, you can listen, there's a recording that I sent, and you can listen to the session and get all the benefits from it. And not just listen, but it actually shows you the visuals. It gives you the whole everything. So you can watch it in that link. So let's all get nice and comfortable. Feet firmly planted on the ground, shoulders relaxed, chest relaxed, body still and unmoving. And close your eyes. So this is your me time. So inhale through your nose, not your mouth. Push your belly out like a balloon for the inhale, and pull your belly in for the exhale. So you're letting all the air out of the balloon. So belly rising for the inhale and deflating for the exhale. So you're just slowing the breathing down at the same time, and you can count in your mind for the inhalation and exhalation. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. So you're breathing in and out of your belly, belly rising and falling. You're slowing your breathing down at the same time. So we have that combination. And you can count in your mind because it helps to just relax your mind as well, to get it focused, just on a more relaxing rhythm, not wandering off into all the stresses you're having. So you just count 1, 2, 3. Inhale, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Push your belly out for the inhale. Pull your belly in for the exhale. So your belly rises and expands like a balloon. And as you exhale, you deflate the balloon and let all the air out. And you can use all of your diaphragm, all of your torso. Fill up that whole cavity with your breath. Keep your chest still, unmoving. Keep your body still. Keep your shoulders relaxed. And legs still, legs unmoving. Push your belly out for the inhale. Pull your belly in for the exhale, and just allow that beautiful deep breathing. Torso belly rising and falling as you inhale and exhale. And now I'm going to ground you. So first we're breathing for calm. Now we're going to ground. So inhale, push your belly out. Exhale, pull your belly in. Bring your focus from the top of your head to your throat. Just focus your attention on your throat area. Inhale, your belly expands. Exhale, your belly deflates. Bring your focus to your chest area. So you're just coming down into your body. Feel yourself moving downwards rather than up. Push, and then breathing in and out of your belly. Push your belly out for the inhale. Exhale, pull your belly in. Bring your focus down into your hip, your belly area. Focus on your belly area. Belly expands. 1, 2, 3. Deflate. 3, 2, 1. Bring your focus into your hip area. feeling the bones, really connecting with your body and feeling your connection with your body. Belly expands for the inhale. For the exhale, your belly deflates. Bring your focus into your thighs. Really feel your concentration in the thighs. Again, your body still and relaxed, unmoving. Push your belly out. Hold your belly in. Bring your focus into your calves. Push your belly out. 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Belly deflates. Long, beautiful, deep, even breathing. And now to the soles of your feet, fully grounded. And again, reminding you, keep your body still. Don't let your legs move and shake around. Just keep your body still, completely still, and feel the soles of your feet. And stay connected. If your mind wanders, bring it back to the soles of your feet and stay connected to the soles of your feet. You can keep counting in your mind as well. To keep your focus, concentrate on the soles of your feet. And as you belly breathe and concentrate on the soles of your feet, you will feel your calm to have increased. You're going to feel an increase in calm. You might even feel some tingles. That's just your nervous system relaxing, the oxygen flowing through your body. Focus on your feet, focus on the calm feeling. And as you focus on your calm feeling, as you breathe and ground, place your attention and put your focus on your picture, your image of calm using your senses, all your senses engaged. So if you're on a beach, you feel the sand beneath your feet, you can hear the wind, you can see the blue water, you can hear the sounds of the waves, you can smell the salt water, you can even taste the water, all your senses, you can feel, maybe you're in the water and feeling the water on your skin. If you're in a garden, you feel the grass beneath your feet, you hear the birds chirping, you see the pretty colors of the flowers, you smell the fresh air, all your senses engaged, and you feel this as real and vividly as you can, and notice your increase in calm as you focus on your calm, safe place within you. So you don't have to go outside of you to find your calm, safe place. That place lies within you. Let's concentrate on that and feel your calm. Push your belly out, focus on your feet, focus on your calm feeling and your calm, safe place. Now we're going to use your calm, safe, grounded place to help you manage your stressor. You may not, you're not feeling inclined to do this, but I'm encouraging you all, please participate. Just take a moment. We're going to shift your focus and think about any stressor in your life right now in terms of professional stressor that's happened in the last 2 weeks, a very recent one, where maybe something didn't go right, or you're having a situation with someone else, or maybe you're not working. And as you think of a professional stressor, so don't lose your breath. And I know we're shifting over to a stressor. What emotions do you feel as you think about your stressor? Do you feel angry, frustrated, lost, helpless, hopeless, ashamed, sad, hurt, powerless? What are your stressor? Feel anxious, afraid, nervous? As you think about your stressor, notice your feelings around that stress and where you feel that stress in your body. So notice as you think about it that you might have shifted and actually feeling stressors in your body. So you're changing and you can feel that emotion in your body like lodged there. And what does that stressor emotion feel like in your body? Does it feel like something heavy or dark? Do you just feel the memory, or does it feel like something uncomfortable in your body? We're going to take that out your body. We're going to use that strength, that calm, that grounding to help let that go. So you're going to take control of that stressor rather than it control you. Let's take it out of your head and put it in the garbage. Let's take it out of your throat and put it in the garbage. You take it out of, your head and your eyes and your mouth and your throat. Take it out of your shoulders, arms, and hands, and just Put it in that garbage. Feel yourself taking control and gaining your calm as you're doing that you're letting it go. Take it out of your heart and chest. Even if you can't get all of it, whatever you can do is good enough. Take whatever you can out of your heart and chest in the garbage. Take it out of your back and spine in the garbage. Take it out of your gut, your hips, your thighs, your knees, your calves. Take it out your body and put it in the garbage and just let it go. Just feel yourself letting it go. Releasing all that stress in your body and letting it go. Now come back to your breath. Come back to the soles of your feet. Push your belly out to breathe in. Pull your belly in to breathe out. Focus on your calm feelings. Focus on the ground. Back to your safe place within you. Focus on the safety inside of you. And now let's absorb that into your body. Absorb your calm, absorb your safety, absorb that into the soles of your feet and into your calves and into your thighs, replacing all of that stress with the calm, the grounding, and the peace and your positive place, the safety within. Absorb it into your back, into your hips, into your gut, into your heart, chest, shoulders, arms, and hands, throat, neck, jaw, nose, eyes, brain, and skull. So it's very stable everywhere. And you're just breathing, grounded in your body, focusing on your feet. You can count back in your mind. You just focus on your calm place, replacing all of that stress with your calm. Push your belly out for the inhale. Pull your belly in for the exhale. 2 more breaths. Focus on your feet. Belly out for the inhale. Belly in for the exhale. Push your belly out for the inhale. And pull your belly in for the exhale. And thank you. You can all open your eyes now. And I welcome any sharing, any comments, anything anyone would like to share with me. I certainly welcome that. Anyone want to share anything or share an experience, thoughts? Did anyone have any? Oh, hi, Reverend.
Hi, dear.
I know you're coming in from yesterday, having not gone through the first one. So how did that work for you?
Yes, well, right now I feel very relaxed. I must say that. Very relaxed. I'm not quite sure if I get the breathing properly yet. Sometimes you were saying out and in, I don't know. I was trying to in. When I'm breathing in, you pull in your tummy.
When you breathe, when you inhale, you push your belly out.
Out, for inhale, out, and then
when you exhale, you pull your belly in, so you don't, your chest doesn't rise. So we shallow breathing is when you breathe like this. You do the opposite. When you inhale, you pull your belly in, and exhale, you push your belly out. But deep breathing is the opposite. When you inhale, you push your belly out, and exhale, you pull your belly in, and that allows the relaxation response. We'll do another one. We'll do another one towards the end, and everyone learned that technique yesterday. So you so you don't move your shoulders or your chest. So inhale, you push your belly out, and exhale, you pull your belly in. Can you feel that difference?
Yes.
And it might feel uncomfortable at first, because if you're accustomed to shallow breathing, that most of us are, unless we relearn, because we do this as babies. And as we develop stressors, we do this when we're sleeping, we do this when we're laughing, and babies. And then as we mature and the stressors of life and the different challenges we start breathing in a shallow way. So we need to relearn healthy breathing, and breathing that allows us to get into our trigger our relaxation response to help bring us back to healthy breathing. So so you breathe in, push the belly out, exhale, pull the belly in. So I still see your chest rising. It's okay.
I have to try and remember.
We'll do another exercise with it, and then you just practice. And if you have the opportunity to listen to the first session. I emailed it, and I know everyone's busy, but at some point when you get to it, I appreciate that. I totally understand that. So you will, when you do, you can we go through it more slowly. Thank you for sharing. So we'll go over it again. So, and it's quite easy to learn because it's something we do with, like I said, when we're sleeping, and it's part of our design. We just kind of lose our capacity. Okay, anyone else want to share anything? Okay. So today's workshop, so for those who are coming in, I did a recap, and we did the first exercise where we left off. We just did a repeat just to get everyone into a more calm place to start off our session. In that positive place, we'll do a final one before the end of this evening. In this session tonight, we're going to learn about unhealthy coping styles, because when we better understand how we cope in unhealthy ways, we will have we'll be more self-aware, and that self-awareness can enable us to manage our cope in more healthy ways. We're also going to learn, and one of those healthy ways, or a primary way, is befriending ourselves as a healthy coping style. And we're going to learn ways to be a good friend, or a loving, compassionate friend to ourselves in this session. And of course, that will give you more power from within yourself to support yourself and basically love yourself more. So we're not always looking outside of ourselves, that we find resources within ourselves that empower us and strengthen us. And the final thing that we learn as a coping style as well is positive reinforcement. That's part of the befriending of the self. And that's why we learn more ways to support ourselves in a healthy way that again gives us positive coping style. So that's what our agenda is tonight. And so we'll start by looking at examining how you are responding to stress, or different ways that, quite frankly, we all respond to stress. So when we're in the fear response, which is the fight, flight, and freeze, which is the stress response, we can get locked into ways of responding, coping, ways that don't support us, but add to our stress. So we start to feel victimized. We think in ways, poor me. Why is this happening to me? I don't think I could handle it. Can I make it through? It's a lot of self-doubt. Will this never end? And so the self-doubt, well, can equally and also additionally turn into doubting life, doubting God, doubting people, just doubt. So we don't trust ourselves, we don't trust the world, we don't trust a higher force, we don't trust so we go, will this never end? We don't see a light at the end of the tunnel. You always feel victimized, put upon, I never get ahead, bad things keep happening to me. You feel really worn out. You doubt yourself again, you can never get it right. Why keep trying? So you doubt yourself, doubt the world, doubt a higher force. You just doubt creeps in. Now, all of us will obviously go through these moments. There's no one that doesn't. Life can have so many challenges, have so many difficult aspects to it that we struggle with, that we've been hurt, so there's the hurts that we incur, there's the challenges we incur. We now have like the COVID challenge. Many people are struggling financially as a result of COVID, or even pre-COVID, which would make matters even worse. There's family issues, relationship. And so when we get too trapped in the fight, flight, or freeze responses, we start looking at the world this way. It's fear-based, because the stress responses are because you're perceiving something as dangerous or threatening. So it's fear-based. And so when you're fear-based, the world starts to look scary, and you start to feel scared within yourself. And that's where this doubt comes from. When we come from the relaxation response, we come from a more confident place. Yes, this is rough, but I can manage it. We trust ourselves. We trust the world. We trust a higher power. We trust a family, friends, there's a trust in something outside of ourselves, a faith in something else. What positive thing can I learn from this experience rather than feeling victimized? You're looking at how you can learn from it. You believe in yourself, you believe you can get through it, even though it's really tough. You have confidence that you can make it through, that you can outlast the challenge, even though it feels like it's never ending. You're like, I'm going to get through this. I'm going to make it. And again, it doesn't necessarily just depend on, I'm not just saying it's all about, I'm only going to make it. How do I make it? Do I make it through faith? Do I make it through family? Do I make it through relationships? Do I make it through, getting a different job or a better job or finding one? Like, the different ways that we're looking for solutions. And then you look at your challenges as as learning, again, teaching you to succeed despite the pain. You know that you feel that there's faith that you can handle it, and there's no such thing as failure, only opportunity to learn and grow. So there's that confidence in yourself, in the world. Now, like I said, we will have both responses. There's no one that will not have the fear responses, but we want not to get too stuck in them and to be able to break through. And I'll repeat again yesterday when I said that, remember that the stress response comes from the lower areas of the brain, the first developing part of our brain, which is built for survival. And when we get into too much of a stress response, it cuts off, it stops our connection to the higher areas of our brain, which is our areas of our brain where we think, where we reason, where we have empathy, we have compassion, spirituality, and where we have morals and ethics and principles. So if we get too much in the stress or the fear response, it will cut off our ability to even, to have resolve this in a healthy way to the different means of connection, spirituality, reasoning, rationaling, the things that we all put together to enable us to empower ourselves, enrich ourselves, and overcome the multiple stresses and challenges that we have. And so we want to strengthen our confidence, and we need to always keep building and strengthening our confidence because of the amount of stressors that we actually experience throughout our lives, and some certainly more so than others. So when we get into, and again, if anyone wants to ask any questions, please feel free, jump in at any time. So when we get into unhealthy coping styles, which is again coming from the stress response, we end up looking at the problem from outside, and it's what the world is doing to us, what he said, she said, what they did, they didn't do. It's all about what the world is doing to us. And again, the victimization. When we're coming from the relaxation response, we look at both sides. It's a combination, it's the balance between how I am responding to the world, how I'm perceiving the world, how I'm thinking about the world, how I'm reacting and interacting, and my choices, and how the outside world is engaging with me or the experiences I have had. So we can look at it more holistically. When we're in the stress response, you think in terms of, again, what life is doing to you. You feel victimized. I'm angry, I'm hurt because she said this, he said that, they did that, COVID is doing this, that, and that, and that. It's all these things outside of you. When we're more in a healthy relaxation, we think how we can impact the world around us. And it doesn't mean that the world is not impacting us, but we're more empowered to how, despite what's happening around, how can we engage in a way that can support ourselves or support others, or lessen the challenge, or soften it, or make it less problematic. Okay. When we think when we get into the stress response, we also play the blame game. It's a big one, and we're going to talk more about this throughout the session tonight. We either blame the world around us for the problem. Again, he said, she said, they did, COVID did, government did, something did, whatever. We're blaming, we feel victimized, or we blame ourselves. A lot of self-criticism and self-judgment. I'm so stupid. Why did I do that? I shouldn't have done this. I should have done that. If I didn't, and then we start a self-attack. That's significantly problematic, and we're going to learn more about that today and tomorrow as well, because of how damaging that is to us of course, any blame game disempowers us. But when we are in a more relaxation, healthy coping style, again, we can get to those higher areas of the brain. We're able to take ownership for our feelings, meaning our thoughts and behaviors, and let others take ownership for theirs. So it's not to say that if somebody abuses me, I'm not going to be hurt, but I understand that I have to heal that hurt, and I have to help myself. And that doesn't mean that it's just all about me. Again, I can help myself through support from others, through guidance, through faith, however we're taking ownership for our feelings, but we start to be able to take the responsibility of regulating ourselves, not at the expense of support. So it's always, again, when we're healthy, we're able to reach out for support if we need it, but be able to use that to help ourselves. So it's that balance. When we're in unhealthy coping, you do not want to feel or be present. That's the hider, that's the freeze response. You want to shut down, you don't want to feel because you're not coping with your feelings, your anxiety, your fears, your hurts. You don't want to feel them, they're too much. When we're in healthy coping styles, you're aware of your feelings and thoughts, and you're regulating them and managing them, which is the techniques, why these techniques that we're learning here are techniques that you can use so that you can manage your emotions more effectively rather than go into that freezer or that hider zone. The mind is overactive. You're thinking too much. You just can't calm down. That's when you're stressed, or you're angry and your mind's just ticking. When we're healthy coping, you're able to calm your mind down, bring yourself to so again, get out of, because of course, like I said, we need to get out of that stress response. If it's on high alert, if it's way up there and we're buzzed, we're overreacting to. So when we get out of that, we can have more calm. Now, of course, we all oscillate. We all go have moments. No one is not going to have an overactive moment or just don't want to feel a problem. But it's when we get too trapped in these stress responses, when they are too much of it going on, where we can't bring the mind into a calm place, or it's getting more and more difficult. When you just keep closing down too much, and therefore you stop feeling, you're numb, and then you can depression. All of us will blame someone, but do we do it to the expense where we can stop seeing how we can manage better or take our own power back. So also when we are in unhealthy coping, it's difficult to be still, because remember that escapism, the flight, difficult to be open because of the freezing. You're not open, you're closing and you're hiding. And it's difficult to surrender, which because of the fighter. And these are very, for us to be still means that we can allow to be open, we can allow love and goodness to come into. If we're closed off, we shut down from everything, not just the pain or the negatives, but also the positives, the love, the goodness. And so when we are in healthy coping, we can be still, we can be open, and we can let go of our difficulties, which is the techniques that we're learning here. To be still, to be open to that positive place, to let go of the difficulties, and to find that strength inside. That doesn't mean that you don't take care of yourself or you don't let people. I'm not saying people are walking all over you and you're getting taken advantage of, but you're finding a strength within. When we get into unhealthy coping styles, we can experience uncontrollable emotions, thoughts, and behaviors. That's again is that overreactive mind. That these things just, the mind, the emotions, like if someone is getting too anxious, for instance, it'll feel like the emotions are controlling them rather than they're controlling their emotions. If someone is angry too much, then that anger is controlling them. They're just reacting to that anger, that rage, and they're not able to. It feels like that those emotions are controlling them. When we're in healthy coping, you can manage your emotions. You can realize, I can let go of that anger. I can calm myself. I don't need to go there. If I'm feeling bitter or hurt or resentful, I can regulate those emotions and my actions and behaviors. Instead of attacking someone, I calm down. Or if I need to, opposite, I need to take a stand for myself, then I can take a stand for myself. When we get into unhealthy coping styles, we can compare ourselves to others. And if we compare ourselves to others, we will always lose, because we will typically compare our weaknesses to somebody else's strength, and then we'll always feel like we're less than. And with healthy coping styles, we accept ourselves for whatever we are, but we don't just accept and say, oh, I'm an angry, hateful person, that's who I am, and it's okay. No, we say, I accept that I have these issues, but now what am I going to do with it? How am I going to help myself? So we're able to challenge our unhealthy thoughts and behaviors, not just give ourselves a pass for things that are harmful to ourselves or harmful to others. We're taking responsibility, but we first have to accept our shadows. We have to accept some of the ways that might be harmful or damaging, again, not to anyone else, but to ourselves, and then work through that. So if I'm noticing I'm getting too angry, then I want to address that, take responsibility, but at least I have to accept it, but not by beating myself up, but just by being aware, I need to work on this. I need to take responsibility for my actions, my thoughts, my emotions, because either I'm harming myself, I'm harming others. And when we get into unhealthy coping styles, we will definitely have difficulty seeing positive, because when the stress response is designed to protect us, and so it's always going to stir up all the negatives. Remember when this happened, remember when that happened, this fear. And that can be a past thing or a present thing. So we can, if we get, for instance, say, use COVID as an example, which is, if we're only just seeing the terror of COVID, getting scared, we forget our capacity, wear our masks, social distance, take precautions, do our part, take care of ourselves, that kind of thing. So, and then we can do our best. There are going to be many moments we're going to go into getting scared, and then we manage that fear, for instance. And that's when I said, in the healthy coping style, you have a balanced perspective. We know there are the shadows in life, but we know there's the light. So we know those shadows will come. We know those challenges, those stressors, they're going to present themselves. We're not just, oh, everything is wonderful. And no, we know that human nature has a shadow side, and we also have that within us. So we want to work through that and support ourselves. So we have more of a balanced perspective. And again, anyone have any questions, please let me know. So why do we overuse the stress response? And so I throw this out to you as a group, because here we're going to look at why it is that we overuse the stress response. So I asked you, we have approximately 40,000 negative thoughts per day. Is that true or false? What are your thoughts? Anyone? Anyone?
I think it might be true.
Mm-hmm. Anyone think that it might be false?
I think 40,000 is kind of high.
It's actually true. On average. And I'm going to explain why now. The reason is that we have a negativity bias. So, and this comes back to the stress response again. Our brain is designed for survival. And as a result, when I give you an example of this, when we question, for instance, why someone can be that evil and still living and walking and breathing and functioning and live to a ripe old age, and they've done all of these horrible things, is hurt people, abuse people, damaging, how come they're still going? And how come? Because that survival response is very self-centered. It's all about me protecting myself. And we don't need to go to the higher areas of the brain. Of course, it doesn't lend for a happy life or a peaceful life, et cetera, and it's harmful and damaging. But that is why, because that survival part of our brain can exist even without us getting to the higher areas where we have our morals, our ethics, our reasoning, our principles. And so the negativity bias sounds really, but it's not an all bad thing. and not all of these quote unquote negative thoughts are some. I see Alicia, you want to, yeah, go ahead, hon. I see you've raised your hand. So yes, ask your question.
No, I was gonna wait until you're finished, but I wanted to mention as well, if a person is in a state of, I don't want to use delusion, because that's a strong word, but in a maybe deceived or, as I said, have a bias towards something, they can think they're having a positive thought, but they're really having a negative thought. So that number to me sounds accurate. Because sometimes it's like you go to a situation and you're thinking a certain way about somebody or about the circumstance, because that's your reality at the moment, that's what you're feeling. And then maybe months after you got the full story, or you started to understand the reason behind why certain things happen, and you're like, okay, at the time, I think I was having a positive emotion towards something, but now I really had a negative emotion towards it.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about, I mean, this all comes down to perception, absolutely. And you know, it's again how we perceive things, and so that's why when we say that fight, flight, and freeze is a person's perceived threat. And that's why we don't say it's a threat, it's what you perceive as threatening. And we will all be different based on personality and experiences. And so, but the negativity bias doesn't necessarily, like I said, it's not, you might not even identify some of these things as a negative. So if I wake up in the morning right now, for instance, and I think, okay, COVID's on my mind, that's not an uplifting thought. That's a negative thought, but it's not necessarily me, but because I'm thinking, remember my mask, remember to take my sanitizer. I'm thinking, I'm aware that there's a problem and I'm doing something about it. So that is, it's a protectionist bias. It protects us from danger. So we're all, it keeps us safe and it keeps us aware of potential danger or danger coming. And so that negativity bias is not necessarily negative or harmful to us, but because it's there, it can get out of control. And so the theory is that something very positive will have less impact on our behavior and thoughts than something will equally that of equal value that is negative. So if I have a party to go to and I also have to go to the dentist, and they have the same kind of emotional, say, impact on me, 5 and 5, but one on the negative side and one on the positive side, I'm going to spend more time thinking about the dentist drilling in my mouth than about going to the party, because I'm going to be thinking about how to protect myself. So that will occupy my mind because I'm perceiving danger and how I can protect myself. So this negativity bias, which I talked about here as the need to protect ourselves from danger. And so as a result of it, this is why the stress response can get out of control, can take over, and we want to be aware of it, and why we need to be, why there's so much conversation about positive thinking. And why is that? Because of that negativity bias, and because of the tendency for us to protect ourselves, especially if we've had particularly difficult situations, have been through some traumas, recent or the past, or struggling, then we are that anxiety, that anxious brain will be looking for the dangers and looking so that we can either escape or overcome it, which is the fight, or hide, get it, remove ourselves from it. So where do these stressors come from? So we now know that we have a negativity bias, which of course then triggers these fight, flight, and freeze. So these are ways that, and then of course, that's why I showed you all those unhealthy coping styles. And when we can get into the fear, how it takes us into all of these negative places. That's why, because of that negativity bias, the brain programmed for survival, and therefore we need to watch how we will cope with things from that negative place. And so we have two layers of stressors. We have the internal stressors and the external stressors. So we'll all know the external stressors, the circumstances, the situations, our experiences, financial, professional, family, romantic, health stressors. These are all external things in our life that are stressful for us and will trigger the fight, flight, and freeze. And if we have too much of any of this, it would particularly trigger those stress responses and can lead to those unhealthy coping styles. And we also have the internal stressors. And this is really what we're going to focus on, because all those external stressors, I can't control it, COVID, being a global pandemic. I can't control if at that point, because of COVID, you have, job loss. If I have a health stressor and it's, it's happening. So all these things can happen, and stress can come anywhere, anytime, we can anticipate it, but many times we have no way of anticipating it at the same time. So our internal stressors, though, are things that we can control, but can have a lot of difficulty actually learning how to control if they are strong habits and we've been overusing our stress, overstressed, or these coping patterns have become too strong. So internal stressors are the emotions and thoughts that cause us to feel stress. If we're worrying too much, if we're anticipating the future in a negative way, if we're being really hard on ourselves, self-critical, beating ourselves up, if we're reliving hurtful past memories or situations, those are all internal stressors that are coming from within us that are causing us to feel unsafe and scared and threatened and in danger. And so much of our life is, of course, again, we're processing our life all the time. We're reflecting on the world, reflecting on our behavior, reflecting on the day, and so a lot pressure is not just coming from us outside. A lot of that stress pressure is coming from inside. When you start worrying about all these problems, you're going to start feeling scared, you're going to start feeling worried and feel anxious, even depressed, all kind of different emotions, helpless, hopeless, angry, frustrated. And if you're using those stress responses, fight, flight, and freeze, to cope with it, as I pointed out yesterday, that they're not effective on an emotional level and for ongoing stresses, because you're going to be struggling inside yourself. You're going to be shutting off your emotions, preventing you from getting to the positive. So you'll get more and more wrapped into that negativity bias, because when you close off the negative, when you close off from feeling, the only thing you close off is the positives, because you're still going to feel the negatives, but you're closing down to try not to feel, and the thing you're blocking is the positives, because those negatives are still alive and well. And then when you beat yourself up, it's the same thing as somebody doing it to you. So if somebody is spending a minute criticizing you, you're so stupid and you shouldn't have done this, and why could you do that right, and judging you, and now you should be this and you should be that. If someone was having that conversation with you, if I was talking to you like that, you would think I was the worst human being in the world. You would be, and your stress would be right up there, like I'm just attacking you and putting you down. But when we do it to ourselves, we give ourselves a pass. We allow ourselves to beat ourselves up. We allow ourselves to criticize ourselves in ways that we would never find acceptable from another, or would enrage us and hurt us. And remember, again, the mind does not know the difference between what is real and what is imagined. So if you're having these conversations in your head, it's as if somebody else is having that conversation with you, and it's going to stress you completely out. It doesn't motivate you to do better. You just feel down on yourself. And so when you're getting these internal stressors are invisible, and that's why they can be so very lethal. If I know that if I've lost my job, that's a stressor. If I have a health problem, if something's happening outside of me, it's evident in the situation, it's evident in the person who's delivering that information or acting in a certain way. But our internal stressors are invisible. They have the same impact, but I don't see myself If somebody's attacking me and putting me down, I'm hearing it. If I'm doing it to myself, I would not necessarily notice it at all. And so there's an invisible kind of enemy where inside of us, when when the internal stressors are active and they're not being regulated. So if you put yourself down, like I said, and you judge yourself, you're going to feel the same way as if someone was doing it to you. You're going to feel unworthy, not good enough, ashamed, stupid, inadequate. And those are very stressful feelings. And it just becomes a vicious circle. So they're not going to help alleviate you from the stress. It's just going to increase the stress, but they're coming from the fight, flight, and freeze perspective. Remember, they're like personalities within us because they're so much a part of how we think. So damaging self-management, if you're applying the fight, flight, or freeze responses to manage your internal stresses or emotions, it will increase your stress. You will struggle. You will struggle inside of yourself with your feelings, thoughts, and memories. If you're in the runner zone, you will, instead of escaping, you will end up feeling stuck. You will feel stuck because try as you might, you cannot get away from yourself. Or you will engage in damaging behaviors to escape. You'll overeat, substance abuse, unhealthy relationships. Or if you're into the hider zone, when you're in the freeze, you'll get smaller and smaller. You'll feel that the world is getting smaller and smaller, and you will feel more powerless and helpless. So you'll struggle, you'll feel stuck, and you'll feel small. So these increase your stress. And that's why I really emphasize the fight, flight, and freeze, these survival responses, because they're designed to help you cope with stress. But when they're overused, and especially when they're used for emotional situations or ongoing, they will not decrease your stress at all. They will increase your stress, although they're designed to protect you from stress. I know, it's just like a vicious circle, and it's an oxymoron. It's a real it's extreme irony. However, it's all things. This is true for all things out of balance. So the stress response is a perfectly designed response, well served, and supports us in enormous ways and protects us. But when it's overused, and because of the challenges of life, we can all get into patterns of overusing it at any point in our life. And so we need to really regulate. We need to keep regulating our fight, flight, or freeze, because they can get overused and as a result end up being harmful to us. And so to balance the stress response, because I said, unfortunately, the influence of the negativity bias and survival-oriented brain will cause us to overuse that stress response at the expense of the relaxation response. So in a balanced world or a space or self or whatever, you have a stress, fight, flight, freeze, overcome it, and you come back to the relaxation response kicks in, and then you're in balance. But when we have, because of overusing it at the expense of the relaxation response, and if we have too much stressors, that relaxation response is always chasing the stress response, trying to bring it back. So, and this can happen if we're experiencing more stress than normal, or it happens over time through sequences of stress. Because I will often hear from people, I never used to be like this. I was never anxious like this before. What happened to me? And that can be accumulation. So stress after stress after stress after stress, eventually it turns in on you. So it creeps up over time, and that can happen. So it's preventive for us to practice these healthy coping styles for sure. And if it has crept up on you where you're overusing your stressors, then this can help you bring it back into balance. So it's always, it's effective any which way, as a prevention or as a treatment, or a way to help try to regulate those impulses and compulsions within us that are part of our makeup. Again, we're perfectly designed, but we do need to work at our balance, because we have so many drives within us and compulsions within us and responsibilities and life. So we always need to balance out the negativity bias by training ourselves in a way that supports positives and supports us emotionally to combat those internal and external stressors. And when that stress is internally generated, and this is really important because again, this is invisible, we need to strengthen our relationship with ourselves, be our cheerleader, support ourselves, and encourage ourselves. And we can do that in multiple ways, of course. We can do that through faith, we can do that through friendship, and we can do that with certainly with our relationship with ourselves, but it's not one or the other. You know, when we build a healthy relationship with ourselves, we can build a healthy relationship with others, with our faith, whatever is you're working for you in your life, the way you're, whatever is how you're oriented. So, but what I'm really stressing here, or emphasizing rather here, let's get rid of the word stress here. What I'm emphasizing here is that we want to strengthen our relationship with ourselves, to be our cheerleader, to encourage ourselves in order to help reduce that negativity bias, and that perpetuates or keeps that stress response or strengthens that stress response. So yesterday, and I'm putting them together, we learned about the breathing, grounding, and calm positive focusing to help balance the stress response. Now we're adding on to that with that positive building to help us bring down the negativity bias, which of course impacts the stress response as well. So this is another add-on, an important element to balancing out the stress responses and to soften them and bring us out and help and create healthier coping styles, and to help you understand why they're important. So you know why you're doing it, rather than, you know, you just hear, oh, be positive. Why? This is why. So this comes down to our self-talk. And this is what we want to be aware of. And of course, there's multiple examples. So negative self-talk versus positive self-talk. So when we're in the negative self-talk, that's our stress response. That's coming from the stress response. I've never done it before. Because remember, the stress response is fear-based. It's anticipating or built-in perceived threat. So I've never done it before. That's a self-doubt. And then I'm scared. Can I do it? Fear. The positive self-talk, which is the relaxation responses, it's an opportunity to learn something. So I'll give it a try. I'll take a chance. So you're not overprotecting yourself. You're allowing yourself to, quote unquote, make a mistake because you can learn from it. It's too complicated. And you can see how this connects to the unhealthy coping styles above, where I talked about the self-doubt, or doubting the world or your faith or others. It's too complicated. So that's self-doubt. So if it's too complicated, I won't try. Positive self-talk, I'll tackle it from a different angle. All this negative self-talk, the stress is protectionist. It's too complicated. You're afraid. You don't want to fail or not do well, or so it's coming from some kind of place of, again, repeating self-doubt. And so you want to protect yourself from this. I don't have the resources. Necessity is another invention. There's not enough time. Let's reevaluate priority. Let's find a way. So it's all, you're solution oriented because you're willing to take a risk. You're willing to open up. Remember, we're opening up when we come out of the stress response. The stress response is closing in. Not enough time. I can't do it. Too much. Finding excuses because you're protecting yourself. You're overprotecting. There's no way it will work out because you're anticipating negatives. I can learn to make it work. So there's always a way that you're looking for a solution, looking for a way to either take a risk, take a chance, or you believe in yourself, or you believe in something or someone. So these are some examples of ways that our negative self-talk versus, and of course, this can go on and on and on, negative, but to give you an idea that it's a fear response, it's a stress response that's protectionist, and whereas a relaxation response allows us to be open, because we have some safety inside of us that will help us manage the challenges. So that's why we develop that safe place within, because that strength and safety helps us to know that we can manage or overcome even if something is difficult or painful. And so that's why it's very important for us to befriend ourselves. And that's what we're going to do in this second half as techniques. We're going to help retrain the brain and become our own ally. And here's a favorite quote. Every single day for the rest of your life, you will have conversations with yourself. Make sure that the majority of those conversations include encouraging, healing, and funny thoughts. Be kind to yourself. I love this. I'm going to read it again. Every single day for the rest of your life, you will have conversations with yourself. Make sure that the majority of those conversations include encouraging, healing, and funny thoughts. Be kind to yourself. And when we get into the stress zone, we're not kind to ourselves. We become doubting ourselves to protect ourselves. We expect negatives. We don't believe in ourselves. We attack ourselves. We put ourselves down because we're struggling inside our head. We cut ourselves off emotionally from when we shut down emotionally from positive, so we can't support ourselves. So we want to retrain the brain and use the brain to become our own ally, and reducing the stress response helps that. So here's a little exercise for everyone. So, and you can write this down. Describe a recent, in the past 2 weeks, positive experience that you had where you felt confident and strong. So maybe you succeeded at something, maybe you did something for someone and you felt good about yourself. Maybe you did something good for yourself. Maybe something was done kind to you. Maybe somebody celebrated you, you got a gift. Maybe somebody was a friend to you when you needed them, or just kindness. So something, write down that positive experience, just a sentence or two. And when you're writing it and you're replaying it in your mind, how it makes you feel. So reimagine that experience and the feeling that came with it, the confident feeling that you had, the feeling good about yourself, the worthy. And then opposite to this, describe a recent experience in the past 2 weeks that you had where you felt down about yourself. Maybe somebody put you down, or you were hard on yourself, where you doubted yourself, didn't feel good about yourself, the opposite to the confidence. So again, make this a recent experience, nothing in the past. And so you write down a positive experience and you write down a negative experience, and how that makes you feel, that negative, that put down. Do you feel that self-doubt, which we talked about, not good enough, stupid, inadequate, unworthy? So just take a little moment, and I'll just give you a little moment to consider that. And note how it makes you feel when you think about this. So you see that I call it your bigger versus your smaller self. You see that little figure just jump. Hi, yes.
Yesterday morning, I was in a webinar, started at 5 o'clock, right?
Yes.
It's an important one. It's with chemicals and waste. This facilitator was trying to connect it with the US, with other conventions.
Yes.
When he came to the convention on biological diversity, he listed all the publications they have, but I know he missed one, the one that dealt with indigenous peoples and local communities. I put it in the chat. You did not mention this. He didn't do nothing about it. And you know what I did? I wrote to the UNCBD, the person in charge of that section, IPLCs, and I copied the lady at WCMC, who is the delegate. And she said, Ruth, thank you for flagging this. And she took action. Somehow she reached out to the facilitator because he worked at the same company. And he came back to me and apologized that he had left it out. And so I felt very good. I took action because if you don't, because these local people are like us, the little people in these little communities, it's not governments, it's not big private sector. But because I took action, he realized there was a woman from a little island. He probably didn't expect me to be on the call, but I identified a major gap. And they had a repeat session, and he included it. I saw a big slide with the local biodiversity outlet. So I felt really good about what I did, and the other stakeholders said, Ruth, you're good. Thanks for your advocacy. You are a champion for biodiversity. So I felt good about that.
Thank you for sharing, Ruth. That yes. Thank you. Yes. And so that's when you're digging into your strength and using your strength and your power to manage a challenge. So thank you. So now that everyone that's a good example. So we have these two different competing the experience of the positive and the experience of the lack of confidence. We're going to come back to that. So when we get caught into that feelings of I'm not good enough, and we're beating up on ourselves, and we're being hard on ourselves, and often if somebody criticizes us, we start criticizing ourselves. And so self-encouragement is the ability to focus on the best in ourselves, see the positives within ourselves, and overcoming negatives. It's not ignoring our shadows, it's identifying them, but instead of beating ourselves up for that, we encourage ourselves through them. We're not saying I'm perfect, because there's no such thing, does not exist, that I'm going to make mistakes, mess up, I'll have weak moments, I'll have strong moments, I'll have lots of weak moments. I have tons of weak moments every day, all the time. All of us do, where I might have reacted without patience and it wasn't the best of me, and I go, okay, let me work on that patience. So what we're doing is we're seeing ourselves in the same situation, but instead of beating ourselves up about it, we're imagining an alternative action or thought or behavior or that we can have. So if we're seeing other ways we can be, and that's encouraging ourselves, because then I believe that I can be patient and I can train myself to do that. I'm seeing, rather than beating up on myself for what I didn't do, shouldn't do, couldn't do. And because we're going to always have so many moments when we were less than we were wanted to be, could have been, should have been, whatever comes in our mind. And where we recognize, because we need to regulate ourselves. Regulating ourselves is day-to-day life, right? From the time we wake up in the morning to the time we go to sleep, we're self-regulating. And it's how we're regulating ourselves. When I wake up in the morning, I start regulating immediately. I have to go clean my teeth, get ready, do this, and am I going to wake up and jump and feel stress, or am I going to regulate from a calm place and start coping with the different challenges? And through that, there'll be moments when I'm less than my best self, or even my middle, so there'll be lots of moments where I will not be my proudest moment. However, how I want to manage those parts of myself that are less than the best of me is to encourage myself to imagine how I could be, how I would change that. So again, instead of being impatient, I'd be patient. So I find that way to forgive myself, to love myself, to encourage myself towards that change. And that's being a kind, loving friend to ourselves. And it's so important, because that's what reduces that inner stressors, that what we have, those internal stressors, because those conversations we're having is with ourselves all the time. So we're moving from critical voice to a compassionate voice. And I like that. Dear me, I choose a new inner voice. We want to treat ourselves the way we would like to be treated. How do we treat our friends? Do we treat ourselves the way we treat our friends? How do we want our friends to treat us? Are we treating ourselves the way we want our friends to treat us? Do we want, when we're having a bad moment, for a friend to come and attack us and put us down? We want our friends to come and say, it's okay, I still love you. How can I help? How can we change this? How can we work this through? How can we make this better? We want our friend to say, I needed you to be more patient. And you say, I'm going to try and work on this. You want your friends to still say, I need this from you. I needed you to be patient. I needed you to actually challenge and say something isn't working, and to reflect back ourselves, but not in a critical way, in a way that we can change or grow or understand. And so if you think, I like to think of our emotions as our children. And if you're trying to teach a child, let's say, to swim, and the child jumps in the water and flails his or her arms, are you going to curse them out? You're stupid. How come you didn't do it right? No, you're going to go back in and say, no, try it this way. Let's keep trying. Good job. Keep going. You're going to try and encourage. And then you're going to say, okay, let's not put your arm this way. Let's put the arm that way. And you're going to show them it's not working if you do it this way. It'll work better if you do it this way. But you're not attacking. So try and think of our emotions as all of our little children inside of us. And we want to train them with love, not with abuse and unkindness and meanness. You still have to call them out for behaviors, but in a loving way, and in a way that shows alternative ways to behave. So like when my son was little and he'd want to hit, I would say we use our hand for loving touch, not hurtful touch. So here is an alternative to the behavior that teaches you something that's positive. So we want to be kind to ourselves. We want to look at that relationship we have with ourselves. So to do this, we're going to start that self-kindness with what are the qualities in you that you appreciate. So I'd like you all to write that down now as well. What do you appreciate in yourself? And these are not things you do like, I'm a good house cleaner. No, not an action, but a quality, a kindness, a caring, a tenacity, a bravery. There, like Ruth, you were brave. You stood up. That you don't give up. That you're strong, loving. So think of 3 qualities in yourself that you really appreciate and that you value in you. I appreciate that I value in me these qualities. And here's another favorite quote of mine. Be careful how you are talking to yourself, because you are listening. Let's hear that again. Be careful how you are talking to yourself, because you are listening. You're always hearing how you're talking to yourself. So these appreciations we're going to work with in a short moment, because I want us all to be able to apply this. The important thing is that the brain is changeable. With repeated self-talk, it will rewire itself. So we need to repeat this. And so we're going to do another exercise, and we're going to incorporate one other element to this, which is going to be encouraging self-talk. So we're going to be breathing, we're going to be grounding, calm and confidence, calm focusing and confidence building. Because again, remember how much that negativity bias creates self-doubt and fears. And if we have confidence in ourselves, if we have confidence in the world, our faith, and we can build that confidence, it helps to soften and reduce those stress responses, to allow us to break out of them. And so, and again, the confidence is within ourselves and around and without us as well. So we're going to, here we go. Confidence is something you create within yourself by believing in who you are. And we're going to strengthen our confidence by inhaling confidence and exhaling that doubt. And once again, I know I'm a little stuck record here, but we're going back to when I showed you all those coping styles and how much they were self-doubt. When we got into that stress response and all those the negativity bias and all those negative coping styles, they were so founded in self-doubt or doubt in the world. So that's why that confidence is a very strong point, a strong emotional and mental muscle to keep strengthening. And I believe that we need to do a confidence boost every day of our life. And so, those 3 things that you wrote down, we're going to call that your confidence boost. And I'm a strong advocate about practicing that. And this is, again, is something that you don't need to take time out of your day to do. What you do have to do is remind yourself to give yourself your confidence boost, to build yourself up, to watch when you are beating yourself down, and to catch that and not just give yourself a pass to keep being your own enemy, and to justify what I call, being mean to yourself or being a bully to yourself with, well, I deserved it, I didn't do that right, or I should have done that, and I wasn't a good person today, or whatever, so therefore I should beat myself up. And remember that all that does is that when you are beating yourself up, you're feeling down about yourself. And when you feel down about yourself, that's stressful. And that triggers more stress response, which causes you to feel more self-doubt. So it just becomes a vicious circle. So what you're trying to do to help yourself overcome or change is actually just going to exacerbate the problem and create more and more stress within you. And so the alternative is not to ignore a behavior or action or a thought or emotion that's unhealthy, but to own it and encourage yourself towards the change that you want. So again, if impatience is a problem, you're trying to build patience. And I can speak very clearly myself to what it is to be impatient, because I used to be a very, very, very impatient person. And I come by it quite honestly, and by that, I am an energetic, personality type. And so I think when you're that way inclined, you can kind of like, oh, go. But additionally, my family is like that too. My mother will always say, I don't have any patience, and my father he's very low in patience. So it was also in my environment. So I'm predisposed to that personality, and it was in my environment. So therefore I reacted quite impatiently, making choices reactively. And when I started to realize that so much of the things that were harmful to me or leading me into problems was impatient reactions, I realized that I need to learn how to be patient. And so I went to start practicing, learning that ability. And it was really, really tough, because it wasn't just something that was in my mind, it was something in my body. It was like a physiological reaction, not to be still, to move, that impulse, the escape, the run, the fight, the body's getting revved up. So when we're learning something new, it is challenging, and it's not just in your head, it's also in your body, it's in your emotions. And so when we want, that learning curve is really tough. And so we need that encouragement, that boost to help break through the stress response and to enable us. Does anyone have any questions before we go into the exercise? Any comments? Anything they want to share? Anything unclear? And if not, we'll go into the second exercise, which is an addition. We have an additional element to this exercise, building on what we've already done. Of course, once again, I'm going to ask you to go back up to remember that in the past 2 weeks, an experience where you felt low about yourself. That is a stressor, where either you were beating yourself up, or somebody was putting you down, and you felt not good enough, or you doubted yourself. So we're going to park that for a moment, but I do want you to remember that before we start, because we're going to return to that. And remember, what we do here is we build a strength and a safety inside from which to manage the stressors, because it's really hard for us to manage our stressors and our self-doubts if we don't feel strong and safe within us, because it's hard to face our shadows. It's hard to face that we're less than we think we should be. It's hard to face our hurts. our insecurities, our doubts, our fears, our wounds, our anger. It can be these are the shadows within us, and they can be very difficult for us to own that these are part of who we are, especially when we're striving to be kind and moralistic and decent and those kind of, it can be at war with what we think we should be. Or if we are in the habit of putting ourselves down when we confront things that are less than comfortable or less than pretty, then we end up beating ourselves down some more. So we avoid them altogether. So, and again, the vicious circle. So that's why we always, before we can look at something within us that's a stressor or a shadow, we want to be in a strong place. We want to be in a calm place. So that part of the brain that has the, that is the higher areas of the brain that has the ability to reason, the compassion, the ethics, the morals can come in and support us. So that's why we get to the calm, we get to the ground, we get to the calm, safe place. We're going to add another element today. We're going to give you this confidence boost by building a relationship with yourself with positive self-talk. And then we're going to use that to help you manage that self-doubt. Because self-doubt is such a part of being human. Everybody struggles with it, no matter who we are, where we come from, or what we've experienced. All of us have those moments of self-doubt. And if we've had a lot of negative responses from the world, if we've heard a lot of negatives, if we've been put down by others, if we've had it early in our life, then we might have that self-doubt and those inadequacies might be, quite strong or too overpowering. And so we particularly need to balance them out. So let's get to it. Again, if anyone has any questions, because now I've talked a little more, but we'll do this exercise. So Reverend, I know you're just coming in. I just repeat one more time that when you inhale, we actually have Pastor Jermaine came in a little later as well. Pastor Jermaine will remember some of the breathing techniques anyway, so you'll be familiar with it from work I've done with Pastor Jermaine in the past. So when we inhale, we push the belly out. And again, Reverend, I know that you missed yesterday, so this might be a little, it's a learning curve and it's okay. You want to keep your shoulders relaxed and your chest flat. And even though you're going to feel your chest rising, you may want to put one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly as you learn it. And then you can place your hands somewhere comfortably. So you really just, what you want to feel is that only your belly is moving for your inhale and exhalation. And if you're accustomed to breathing upwards, it'll be strange, but we do adapt pretty quickly with practice, very fast actually. So you inhale and push your belly out, exhale and pull your belly in, and then we slow the breathing down. So we will begin. I invite you to close your eyes, feet firmly planted on the ground, relaxed. Keep your body still. So if you notice your legs moving, still your legs. Place your hands in your lap if you want, and Reverend, you might want just to start with your hand on your chest and belly so you can see what's moving. So inhale, push your belly out. Exhale, pull your belly in. So when you inhale and the belly expands like a balloon, when we exhale, we deflate the balloon and we pull all the air, leaves our belly. So we're only breathing in and out of our belly. So we're inhaling into our belly and exhaling from our belly as well. So we're not exhaling and pushing our shoulders up again. We're still remaining still, shoulders relaxed, chest relaxed, belly rising, belly falling. Inhale, push your belly out. Exhale, pull your belly in. Inhale, belly expands like a balloon as if you're blowing up a balloon for the inhale. And exhale, belly deflates and the air is let out. We're counting in our mind with the breath as well. 1, 2, 3 for the inhale. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. So you just count in your mind as you do it. Helps to calm the mind, and mind will not wander into all the activities of the day or the stressors. Push your belly out, count in your mind. So you're slowing the breath down. 1, 2, 3, inhale. 3, 2, 1, exhale. So you can keep that count in your mind. Push the belly out for the inhale. Relaxation is response is triggered by your exhalation. So it's really important that you exhale from your belly. And it's that slow exhalation that allows that body, the relaxation response to get triggered and the body becomes still. Push your belly out for the inhale. Pull your belly in for the exhale. 1, 2, 3 for the inhale. 3, 2, 1 for the exhale. And now we're going to ground. As you inhale and push your belly out, bring your focus down to your throat area. Just concentrate on that area of your body. So you're really coming out of your head into your body. Push your belly out for the inhale. Pull your belly in for the exhale. Let's come to focus on your chest area. As you focus on your chest area, you push your belly out for the inhale. Exhale, pull your belly in. Bring your focus down to your belly area. Push your belly out for the inhale. Exhale, pull your belly in. So you're counting in your mind to the count of 3. And exhale to the count of 3. Bring your focus into your hips. You're coming into your body. Push your belly out for the inhale. Exhale, pull your belly in. Focus on your thighs. Feel your muscles, feel your skin, the bones. Push your belly out for the inhale. Pull your belly in for the exhale. Focus on your calves. Push your belly out. Pull your belly in. And come down to the soles of your feet. Remember, your shoulders are relaxed, your chest is still. All your concentration now in the soles of your feet, so you're grounded. If your mind wanders, bring it back to the ground. And again, the grounding helps to balance out the flight response, the runner feeling, the escapism. You're grounded now. The breathing balances out the fight response, calming. The grounding calms the runner, the flight response. And now we're going to focus on the calm and your picture of calm, your image of calm. So you're going to feel calmer as you ground, and then you're going to focus on your calm feeling. This helps to balance out that freeze response, because now you're allowing yourself to feel and focus on a positive feeling. And as you feel that positive feeling in your body, you're going to focus on the image for your positive feeling. Is your image for your positive, calm feeling a beach? If it's a beach, use all of your senses and feel yourself vividly there. This is your safe place. You feel the sand beneath your feet. You feel the water, the smell of the fresh air, the salt water. You can see the blue sky. You can maybe feel the water on your skin, maybe taste the salty water. So all your senses vividly engaged. If you are in a garden, you feel the grass beneath your feet, you're touching the pretty flowers, you're seeing the colors of the flowers, the green grass, the blue sky, the sun maybe on your skin, you're feeling that. You can hear the sounds of birds chirping. So all your senses are engaged, and this is your calm and safe place. So you're going to feel the calm, and this is your safe place. And in your safe place, focus on your feet. So now we've calmed the fighter, calm the running, calm the hiding, balance those out. We're going to give yourself your positivity boost. So in your safe place, you're going to imagine connecting with yourself. And you can do this in multiple ways. You may imagine yourself in your safe place as your clone or your twin. So you're kind of seeing yourself. Or you may just feel yourself in that, your energy. And if you don't see or you don't feel yourself, you can just physically feel yourself, your body, and imagine giving yourself a hug. So if you see yourself as a clone or a twin, you can hug your clone or your twin and really feel that using all your senses. You feel your skin, you feel your emotions of caring. Or you can just wrap your arms around yourself so you physically feel the connection with yourself. Whatever works for you. Hug yourself and feel your emotional of caring for yourself, that you're loving yourself. And now give yourself your positivity boost, the one that we did above earlier. What you appreciate in yourself, what you value in yourself. You appreciate your kindness. And notice how you feel as you give yourself this positivity boost, that you build yourself up. Repeat that minimum 4 times. It takes 4 positives to cancel out 1 negative. So 4 times, just keep repeating to yourself that self-talk, positive self-talk, what you value in you, what you appreciate in you, so that you can see. And if you need to remember that confidence memory, then go back to that so that you can like, yeah, look, I believe in me. Here's my moment when I was, so you can prove these words. You're not just saying them, automatically, or you're saying it, you're just off the cuff, or, you're saying it with conviction. You can remember your moment of where you felt confident, and you can say, I believe in you. I see this in you. You have all these beautiful qualities that I appreciate and value. That's you talking to you. You talk to yourself all the time. Let's make that conversation, that dialogue, something loving. Notice how you feel as you build yourself. Feel the confidence. So we're calm and we're confident. The two combined is the powerful ways to blend, to come together, to soften those stress responses. Focus on your calm feelings. Focus on your confidence. And as you focus on your feet and your breathing, you feel your calm and confidence. I want you all again to think about what we just parked. That memory, that experience, the recent one of where you fell down on yourself. Maybe you put yourself down, somebody put you down, you didn't do something, maybe you quote unquote seem to have failed at something, or didn't do your best at it, or whatever it is, where you felt not good enough, unworthy, didn't measure up. Whatever you're feeling about yourself, I want you to think about that memory as vividly as you can. Where were you? What was happening? And how that makes you feel inside. Keep breathing. Do you feel inadequate, not good enough, unworthy, non-deserving, a failure, stupid? The negative thoughts that you may have about yourself, which we all will have at times. And notice where you have those feelings in your body and what they feel like in your body. Maybe they feel heavy. Maybe you feel tense in your body. Maybe it feels like something like a rock. It just feels uncomfortable, a stress in your body. So you're owning that feeling rather than avoiding them, running away from them, struggling with them, or hiding from them, but you're using your strength. So instead of avoiding, like I said, or struggling with those feelings, or hiding from those, or shutting them down, closing off from those feelings, we're addressing them from that strong, calm place. And now let's let them go. Whatever those feelings are in your body, let's take them out. Take them out of your calves, take them out of your thighs, take them out of your belly, take them out of your heart, take them out of your shoulders, arms, and hands, out of your throat, out of your brain, eyes, nose, mouth, throat. Take it out of your body. Feel your sense of power. Taking control of those unworthiness and those stress emotions rather than them controlling you, and just put them in the garbage now. Let go of all of that stressor in your body, all of that unworthiness and not good enough. Let it go. Poof, disappears. It's gone. Let's come back to your breathing. Push your belly out, pull your belly in, come back to focus on your feet. We're grounding. Come back to your safe place, your positive place, and giving yourself your confidence boost to replace all of those negatives once again. What you appreciate in you, what you value in you. Repeat them 4 times. Breathing deep in your soles of your feet, in your calm, safe place, boosting yourself, replacing that inadequacy with your confidence. And now, like a sponge, let's soak that in. Let's soak it into your feet and into your knees and into your calves and into your thighs. You're placing all of that stress with the strength, with the confidence, with the calm, into your back, into your belly, into your heart, chest, shoulders, arms, and hands, into your throat, neck, jaw, nose, eyes, brain, and skull. Stable, deep in your bones, deep in your muscle, deep in your skin, moving as your breath from your feet, grounded. Push your belly out. We'll take 3 more breaths. To inhale, pull your belly in. To exhale, push your belly out. To inhale, pull your belly in. To exhale, belly out, belly in, nice, long, deep, even breath. And you can open your eyes. If anybody has anything they'd like to share, please do. So I want to point out again that we belly breathe to better manage the fighter. We ground to break through the runner, which is the flight response, the escapism. We concentrate on our calm, safe place to connect with our feelings, to help soften that freeze response. We connect with the self to build the confidence to break through the negativity, which is the internal stressor that's creating stress from within us. And we boost ourselves. So we're adding, so we get to that calm place, and we add or combine the calm with the confidence to give yourself the boost. As I said, how much stress is connected to self-doubt and doubt in the world, and just doubt in God, in the universe, in the world, and people. And so we're building up that confidence and taking care and loving ourselves. So once we get to the calm combined with the confidence, and that's the strength, we use that strength to manage the stressor. So we turn our attention and address and that's what, because instead of, like I said, instead of fighting with that stressor, so that just makes you more stressed out, instead of avoiding that stressor and it's still inside your body and you can't escape it, so you're still going to feel not good enough and you're going to come right back there again when something happens to you, or avoiding your feelings and numbing out from your feelings and not feeling, which is the freeze response. We're able to face the uncomfortable feeling from a place of calm and confidence, a place of strength. Let that go and replace that with our calm and our confidence. Anyone have any questions, any challenges with that, any difficulty? Please, this is our moment to ask me questions. And I'll do, of course, as we are closing off, that I'm going to give our little shout out, of course, and an appreciation to our funders. This is the Adult Social and Emotional Learning program. And it's developed by my organization. I'm the executive director. Well, so I developed the program based on my more than 25 years working in mental health. And this program has been funded by the Kaleidoscope Trust Commonwealth Equality Project in collaboration with the Eastern Caribbean Alliance for Diversity and Equality. So we have extreme appreciation for their creating this opportunity for us to be here. And the goal of this is for you to learn these skills and for them to be able to be shared as a peer-based program to share in the community with others. I'm appreciative of all being here this evening with me and as we for this program again can be shared. I will reiterate again for those who are able to make it tonight that you will be provided with all the sessions are recorded, so there'll be 4 recorded sessions, and it shows the video so you can go through it. I will also provide a manual, a training manual. You will also have, which comes with handouts, and you will additionally have all the PowerPoints will be available to you that you can use ongoing with others. And finally, we've also done 8 videos to support the training, where I do 4 of these technical exercises and explanations, the key explanations, so that anyone teaching it can just put on those videos and use those as well to take into the community, and those videos can be shared so that we have a lot of resources so that this can be a peer-based program that you can take this and work in your communities and empower our communities with these user-friendly skills that are very practically based and logically based in ways that actually address how we are designed as human beings, and with ways and techniques that actually address how we cope and function, and teaches us and provides healthy ways and can be incorporated into our life day to day, or we can use these techniques 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and incorporate it into prayers before we go to sleep, or any of the activities or different interests that we have. And if no one has any questions, I will say good evening. We have the final seminar tomorrow evening, 4 to 6 p.m. I thank everyone for being here. I'm always available via text, and you can email me or call me. And I thank you again. If you have any questions, please send them to me. If you have any questions now, and if not, I will say again, thanks again. And I will see everyone for our final session tomorrow at 4 p.m. And again, you will get a link sent to you tomorrow. And so look for that email and I'll provide the link. And if you have any problems getting in, just text me and let me know right away. I know there was some difficulty, but I think we all managed to the best of the ability and we had a good turnout. So again, thank you everyone and good night.